you're seeing this when there's a 3, a 6, or a 9 in the time, or anywhere on the screen, or there's a number of greater significance to you in the time or on the screen, then this could be for you. Or if you have had macaroni and cheese in the past 8 days, or you have had mint tea or mint something in the past 4 hours. Toothpaste doesn't count though. But also, if you need to brush your teeth, this could be for you. We do this here for funsies though, and heavily for the ASMR, so don't take any of this too seriously. Also, the amount of synchronicities you had can correspond to the amount of which this is for you. There's probably going to be some juicy specific deets for a juicy specific view of you, but we'll take a look. Fertilizing. Here's your first card out. Yep, card number 10. Food is not the only thing that nourishes you, dear one. Be mindful of what you feed your soul. Potentially consuming something that does not help your soul feel energized. And not just food-wise, like the card said. Whether that's like content or other people's drama, just take note of how things make you feel, okay? Okay. Let's see here. It could also be literal and like opposite. Like it could be food, like perhaps you had that mac and cheese even though you are packed lactose intolerant. If you want your week to go a little better, just sprinkle a little better spices in your next week. Avoid the things you know make you feel bad. Okay. And maybe adventure into a little bit of something else. Maybe you replace it with something else you haven't tried before. You might discover new things that make you feel bad, but then those make you feel bad too. And you'll surely discover things that make you feel good and things you want to add more of into your life. Potentially this next week wearing purple and green together might be nice, or just surrounding yourself with a bit of extra purple and green this next week. Ooh, Black Cat. Card number 7. There's a curious journey into the depths of the unknown, hidden so deep that only the brave will gracefully return with light in their eyes and a shadow leading home. The things you've been through, some people might not have made it out as gracefully, Just like there are some things other people have been through that you might not have made it out so gracefully. Just be aware of that, always know, you never know the full story. Other people don't know the full story and don't expect them to either. So if someone has made some weird judgment towards you recently and you're like, oh, why would they think that? Why would they say that? They have not lived your full life, okay? And you can't expect anyone to. But you have lived your full life, and look at you, you're still right by your side. Your presence and your awareness is always enough, okay? Nothing you have gone through has gone unseen. What you see matters most to you in this life. So everything I went through so they would know why I'm like this. But like, you wouldn't wish that on that person, you know what I mean? Follow your bliss and watch as the things that are meant to you come home to you. Okay, this is kind of like being like a little bit blind to like the exact things you want. You're like, I don't know exactly what it is I want my future to look like, but I have a general vibe. Know that that vibe is enough, and allow yourself to stew up in that vibe, because when you stew up in that vibe, things of that same vibe get a little whiff of you. If you're stewing in a different vibe than the vibe of the things you'd like to attract in, you're not gonna like the stew you're brewing. Okay. And those things, the things in the other vibes too, they're not gonna know you exist because they're all up in that vibe. You know what I mean? So switch it up if need be. Okay. Add some spices you prefer if need be to get the flavor where you kind of feel good and flowy. Because it seems like there are some things that certainly want to find their way to you and are certainly going to. But it's just when you get in that energy you prefer, you know, follow your bliss. Follow your bliss, gently be. A lot of you feel most at peace in the woods, in nature, listening to birds, sitting by the babbling brook. So allow yourself more of that time, so that you can stew up those vibes, so that those other things in those same vibes too could be like, yo, who's cooking now? Oh, we like your cooking. We like your cooking. May we suggest something to you? A new flavor, mayhaps? A new flavor you might quite like. I like you. I have already decided I like you. You're pretty rad. Ooh, that one bounced out. What bounced out? Do you want to guess? A new friendships and deeper relationships. Interweaving. My neighbor's out whistling. Yo, my neighbor's sounds like so much fun. Anyway, I'm excited because this friendship feels like y'all are co-magicking together, you know what I mean? You're doing up something fierce and mighty and delicious. Oh, and Milk Moon Witch right after that, something certainly delicious here. When we have light. Wow, these color schemes are very simmy. Okay. Watch as the tides turn in your favor, weaving the waters within, the conjuring unspoken desire. What we were kind of saying before is like, maybe you don't know the exact things you want, you know what I mean? But you being in that vibe will make you known to them, you know what I mean? And hope is but a word casting the unseen. Let there be light where light is but a dream. What things do you want to add into this world? What do you want to add more of? What things do you want to add more of into your mind? Start in the mind, and you'll see it more in the world and know more how to add it in. Okay, but also, like, seems like affirmations would work well for you at this point of your life. Like having a few words, anything you think of. I know when people are like, oh, how do I make my own affirmation? Anything you think of is going to be far more powerful to you than something you Google. You know what I mean? If you're like, I'm about to Google, what are some good affirmations? Words of affirmation. Like, whatever you want, you know what I'm, like what we were talking before. Whatever stew you want to be cooking up, make some kind of mantra for yourself and some kind of affirmation for yourself for these next few weeks that reflect that vibe, that reflect that flavor and that spice. This is also creating this little mantra or affirmation for yourself is also going to help you feel a lot more comfortable, which in turn is going to be like turning over rocks in your mind, and you're going to be finding like gems under there. You're going to be finding just red things. You're like, wow, I did not know I had that inspiration in me. I didn't know I wanted to make that. You know what I mean? So you might have some things like that already, like you really admire something in someone or that someone's making, but you never really considered making that same thing yourself. If you have something like that and it immediately comes to your mind, perhaps try making something like that for yourself this next week. Just see where that gets you. We also have candle magic here. Maybe we got some literal candle makers up in here. But also, when you're trying to like set your affirmation, your mantra, perhaps light a little candle, and then whenever you see a flame, remind yourself of that affirmation. Whether you're sitting by a fire pit, you just walk through a little shop and there's a candle or a candle lit somewhere, you remind yourself of that affirmation. Connect that affirmation to something you'll see regularly in your life. And also something you can intentionally create before you. Like you can light a candle before you can intentionally sit in that energy. Light that flame yourself too with that intention, that mantra. In the dark of your heart lives new breath, waiting for you to release its ghost, like that turning over of rocks. After you help yourself feel more safe to do so, you know what I mean, with this little, this is also really gonna help you feel more safe to express yourself romantically or just on a deeper level friendship wise, you know what I mean. Maybe you kind of had a hard time doing so, but you gotta really help yourself feel safe in your mind and feel confident in the flavors you're cooking up. Yeah, because you might be like too stuck cooking up other people's flavors to a point where you don't really know what your flavor is. And so if you don't really know what your flavor is, it's gonna be really hard for someone to love you and for someone to treat you how you want to be treated. Because they're also picking up on some different weird flavors and they're like, wait, hold up. What kind of soup is this? I thought this was chicken noodle soup, but it's taking more like gazpacho. You know what I'm saying? Just you're confusing people, and you're confusing yourself. It stems down to your confusion of yourself. Tea magic. Reach into your subconscious, pull from the source, and weave magic with intention, and the answers will be unfold. Yeah, I think this setting a mantra for yourself and reminding yourself of this intention, these affirmations, whatever it is, it's definitely like, I think like within the 2 weeks of practicing this is going to really help build a new level of confidence in you and a new sense for where your soup's headed. You know what I mean? So yeah, tea magic and sunburst. Embrace your inner light and share it with the world, inspiring others to do the same. This might also, like, you might share this with a friend or with someone, like, hey, I started telling myself this, every day, and anytime I saw a candle, I reminded myself of this, and I feel freaking great. You might share that with someone then, and they'll start doing that too, and then they'll feel freaking great, and they'll start actually adding spices into their stew that they prefer, instead of spices that you prefer, or spices that someone else prefer, you know what I mean? There's no greater power than the light that lives on through acts inspired by the heart. You're definitely going to be inspiring. It feels like quite a few people. I think you're going to be inspiring quite a few people. A few people close to you deeply, for sure. But it also feels like quite a few people. The sun. Embrace your inner light and share it with the world, inspiring others to do the same with. Remember to distinguish abundance from wholeness. Choose wisely and intentionally. And right after that, you also got, not all that's alluring may be as it seems. See beyond the illusion. Those two together, there's definitely some spice you're adding because you think you prefer it. But you've been adding the spice for so long that you don't even really know what it's like to not have the spice in there. Okay, so just take a look through your spice cabinets. Okay. See what it is you're adding truthfully and fully with intention, and because you like it. Because it helps you feel good, and what you just been adding because it's what someone else added at some point, so you started adding it. Oof. Grief, forest, and silence. Something that's gonna help you move. This is for a smaller group of y'all, but something that's gonna help you move through grief a little bit smoother is spending more time in the forest, in silence, allowing yourself to just feel the breeze and let it pass by. Hear the birds and the crickets and the storms. Witness them, but also this might be for the same group or for someone very specific. You might be adding something into your life specifically from grief. Like you're like, I have to do this thing because I feel bad. Because I feel bad. I feel like I need to honor this person. But I don't think that thing that you're holding on to is like making you feel very good or like rightfully taking up space, you know what I mean? And that person wouldn't have wanted that, just to like hold their memory. So that might be for a very specific person, but if there's something you feel like has been like kind of burdensome and it's like tied to, we also had snow here. There's beauty in the divine that settles on thy flesh, magical enchantment bestowed. Yeah, look at your last 4 cards. We had a lot of like autumny colors and flowers and yellows and such out. And then it took a turn. But that's fine. Sometimes you need to level out the flavors so that you can tell what it is that's not doing you very, very great. You know what I'm saying? So if you need to just take that time to be silent in the woods, because you don't really know what kind of, oh doggone it, you know what, I don't really know what kind of soup I'm making. I'll been out here making soup for years, and I don't even know what kind of soup it is. That kind of vibe. Go get yourself in the woods. Go get yourself in the woods. And don't you worry your pretty little mind about it until you get back. Follow the stars, for they know best. Not too light, not too dark. A shimmer of what is coming next. You're gonna be getting some random synchronicities that it's like, I was just thinking about starting this up and now I'm seeing this. All of a sudden, why am I seeing a bunch of this? I was just thinking about, you know what I mean? You're gonna be getting some random little, like, Easter eggs dodged about your life. And I think you're gonna notice them. Some people might not have noticed them, but since you had this time in the silence, in the forest, you're gonna notice these things. They might have even been things that you didn't notice immediately. Like maybe these are some things that are like kind of dropped over the past few weeks and you haven't noticed. You spending time in the woods, in the silence, you're gonna notice those things. I mean, like within 24 hours of woods time, if not literally right when you're in the woods. Ooh, aromatherapy and cold milk. Okay, take advantage of your aromatherapy. Do you know some scents that you just love? When's the last time you smelled those scents? Do you have access to some scents that you love? Can you there's a fragrance bellowing within the essence of nourishment that is asking for a deeper seeking into yourself. You're really gonna be getting to know yourself as you nourish yourself. Not so much while you're on your grind, not so much while you're thinking of the most amazing, scheming up the most amazing little plans. You're gonna be getting to know yourself when you're like, okay, I should go make myself a meal. I should go eat something and fuel my body. I should go for a little walk in the woods and help clear my mind. You know what I mean? That's when you're gonna be noticing the most about yourself. When you're gonna be discovering, sorry, my dress is falling all about. Okay? Okay. Do you have anything else? Any juicy, specific deets we got here? Tea party. An escape is inviting in the enchantments that seek to come alive. Ooh. Yeah, you're going to be getting some inspiration whilst not working on your, like, the things you're crazy hyped about right now, or the things you're, like, putting a lot of time, not even crazy hyped about, but the things you're, like, putting a lot of time into right now and wanting to see them flourish. When you're working on something completely different these next few weeks is when you're going to get, like, the biggest insights on where you want your direction to go. You know what I mean, Joby? Gratitude is going to help you get there, too. Surely, you would not get there without gratitude. Because, ooh, we got berries out here. You are being called to step into the flame with an ignited vision of your desires. Time is of the essence. Okay, someone might be waiting for a decision from you on something. Yeah, don't make this decision until after you've had that silence in the woods, okay? If you can, like, prolong that, be like, hey, I'm gonna need to get back to you on that. Do it, but don't make it before you get to the woods. Yeah, okay, especially with gratitude underneath here. It seems like you're really focusing in on harvesting a particular fruit. And you're like, okay, when I have enough of this particular fruit, then I can be happier, then I can be relaxed and feel safe. I got all this fruit. But it seems like within the next few months, you're gonna realize you actually want to harvest a different fruit, and you have been harvesting that other fruit, but you, for some reason, have just been so focused on this fruit over here that you're like, man, this fruit's not growing much. But as soon as you have that little perspective swap and that little sense of gratitude, immediately you're gonna feel like, oh my gosh, wait, I've had all this fruit this whole time, and I actually prefer this fruit over this one. I could have been happy and safe this whole time in my mind. That's kind of like a fun little realization to have too. It feels like something was kind of like a playing about maybe someone's opinions or some words someone said to you a while ago that made you think that you maybe preferred that fruit, or that fruit was like more desirable or something. But I'm really excited for you to get a taste for this one. We're talking a lot about food. Are you hungry? Do you need to feed your bod, Jelly Bean? Fruit is such a nice, easy one because you can just go grab an apple and eat it. You can just go peel a banana. So maybe this next week, also try and eat some more fruit. Or if you need to go collect some fruit to have for the week, that might be something that kind of like helps boost your mood throughout to keep you feeling good. No one decision is insignificant. The act of intentionality calls to you. And determination. Trust and fully embrace the emerging path to who you truly are. Yeah, that's precious. I'm really excited for this next 3 months for you. Really excited about the flavors you're going to be discovering and realizing. It also kind of feels like maybe immediately when you meet other people, like they get a very distinct flavor and they love that about you, but you don't pick up on that because that's just a flavor that you've been tasting for so many years that you're like, like you're a little bit nonchalant with it, but also you're packing some rad flavor in there, yo. With that, we had some imposter syndrome vibes towards the beginning, and it's kind of like you just don't, yeah, like I said, like you've been tasting that flavor for so long that it's nothing special to you anymore, but it's certainly special to a lot of people, and people would be baffled if they heard that you couldn't taste that flavor in yourself. They'd be like, are you kidding me? But you're this, and this. Are you kidding me? But you literally did that, you know what I mean? You literally make me feel, I hope that you see soon the light that you bring, because